So how exactly do top-tier real estate investors keep buying properties without ever, running out of cash? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a source that outlines the absolute ultimate 2026 blueprint for scaling your wealth. It's a strategy that completely flips the script on traditional property investment.
Our source material kicks things off with a pretty great hook. Hey, future real estate moguls. And I love that, right? Because it highlights a massive shift in how we actually scale portfolios today. Look, the old school method of painstakingly saving up a 20% down payment over and over again, it's notoriously slow. It drains your liquid cash. Instead, we're going to look at a framework designed to expand your real estate footprint with significantly less out-of-pocket expense over time.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The core concept here is called the BRRRR method. And no, we're not talking about the temperature. It's an acronym, and it is a highly specific strategy designed to literally recycle your capital. It solves the biggest roadblock every modern investor runs into, hitting that dreaded wall where all your cash is just stuck inside your assets. By focusing on capital recycling, this method lets you build a portfolio way faster.
So what are the actual steps? Well, BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. It's a 5-step blueprint outlining the complete chronological life cycle of a highly leveraged investment. We're going to walk through each of these 5 phases right now to see how the physical and financial life cycle of this strategy actually plays out.
It all kicks off with step 1, buy. But hold on, you aren't just scrolling through listings and paying full retail price for a pristine, move-in ready house. The source makes it crystal clear. You have to find an undervalued or distressed property. Getting it below market value is an absolutely essential first step. You're hunting for a fixer-upper. Why? Because by buying it below its potential value, you're essentially locking in built-in equity from day one. Like they say, you make your money when you buy.
That brings us to step 2, rehab. You've got your distressed property, and now it's time to renovate it to significantly bump up its value. But, and this is a critical warning from our source, we're talking about smart upgrades here. You want maximum ROI. So no, you aren't putting a gold-plated chandelier in a basic starter home. You're making targeted, strategic improvements. We're talking updating the kitchen, fixing the floors, a fresh coat of paint. Things that mathematically force the property's value up way higher than what you actually spent on materials and labor.
All right, the dust is settled, the renovations are done. Now we transition to step 3, rent. This is a massive pivot point. Your building is transitioning from a capital-draining rehab project into a performing financial asset. Getting a tenant placed means you start generating steady cash flow. And that rental income, that's what pays the mortgage, covers your operational expenses, and completely stabilizes the investment. You now have an appreciating property that is literally paying for itself. Now get ready, because this brings us to the real climax of the entire strategy. Step 4, refinance. Since the property is worth so much more now, thanks to that smart rehab and maybe some favorable market conditions, you go back to the bank to refinance this newly appraised, higher value asset. The bank gives you a brand new loan based on that new value. And here is the absolute game changer from our source. You pull out your initial capital completely tax-free. No way, right? But it's true. It's tax-free because it's a loan, not income. You've essentially gotten all your original cash back, but you still own the cash-flowing property.
Which perfectly sets up the final R, step 5, repeat. This is where the true magic happens, and your portfolio velocity just takes off. You've got that extracted capital sitting right back in your bank account, but instead of letting it gather dust, you use that exact same cash to fund your next BRRRR property. And the whole process starts all over again. You're scaling up not by painfully saving a new down payment from scratch, but by actively deploying the same capital over and over again.
Think about the stark contrast between these two mindsets. In traditional investing, you save up your money, you drop a down payment on a house, and boom, that money is locked inside the asset. Your liquid capital is totally depleted, and you're stuck starting from zero for the next one. But with the BRRRR method, you are recycling your capital. That same pot of money buys property 1, then it buys property 2, then property 3. You are building a massive portfolio way faster using the exact same initial out-of-pocket expense. Now, while the fundamentals of BRRRR are timeless, our source highlights what we can call the 2026 edge. Executing this strategy today is faster than it has ever been, largely thanks to advanced property analysis tools and AI-driven contractor sourcing. The rehab phase used to be the biggest operational headache for investors. Not anymore. Now it's incredibly streamlined. You can leverage cutting-edge tech to find the deals, crunch the numbers in seconds, and source the exact right labor. It just makes the whole investment cycle so much more efficient. So what does this all mean for us? The overarching takeaway from our source today is a really powerful paradigm shift. Your capital absolutely does not have to be a one-time use resource. It can be recycled. You can pull it out of a stabilized asset and put it right back to work for you. The question the source leaves us with, and the question I want to leave you with today, is this. If you have the blueprint to leverage your assets and endlessly recycle your capital, are you ready to start the loop? Get started with BRRRR today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.